I feel like all my
Well,
Pudge falls off lane would then switch to carry and there'd be terrible carry players. So that's how I'd feel about it.
they banned Shadow Demon as well because they're gonna pick Pudge.
10 seconds remaining.
Those two, the combination of
5
those two
seconds
heroes
remaining.
just killed Pudge from full HP.
Yep.
And Pudge isn't typically a hero you expect to get burst from full, but with the combination of these two, he got burst from full.
Mira,
every
you're
time
still
they
dodging my
cycle.
question because I think you've started to realize what you're advocating for.
I'm not advocating for this
PSG.LGD
carry
strong
Pudge. I'm advocating for innovation and creativity in Dota 2.
Yes.
Radiant team pick. Luna.
One of
There it
my
is. They
No.
go back to their bread and butter instead. First
Back
pick
to the Luna.
Baited.
So it's a cop out. It's a cop
It
out
really
for
is.
sure. But it's what they did yesterday. They started to work on their Pudge draft and then they went for their Luna draft.
10
The
seconds
disappointment in your
remaining.
voice is very apparent.
We'll see it tomorrow. I promise you there will
That
be
in game
another
one,
Pudge draft
we'll see
tomorrow.
it. We'll see it tomorrow in game
In
one.
game
again.
one.
We
They
can
will
hear the
lose
tears
game
behind
one.
your voice, Effie.
It's okay. It's
You're
okay.
not hiding it well.
I do want to see my boys have a good game, so I don't mind benching the Pudge. I don't mind.
Radiant
I do
There's
feel
not
like
that much
they-
to say about Luna.
Yeah.
She's just the best carry you can go for this meta.
Top
I do
one.
feel like LGD were trying to get like the psychological victory. You know, if Elephant did ban Pudge, then LGD would have been like, "Yes, we're in their heads. We've done it. We've got the psychological victory here, boys."
Go with the Dragonite pick here. I'm so baffled by teams like I know Dragonite is like a really good hero right now, but picking it into Luna, I don't really like that. I feel Dragonite's worst matchups are these ranged carries like Luna and Dusa. And I know DK can go mid, but it's just not as good, I would say.
Okay, so when we saw Dragon Knight yesterday versus Luna, they paired him up with Hoodwink, and I'm not sure which team it was exactly. I can't remember, but they did have the DK Hoodwink lane versus a Luna and Disruptor lane, and actually the Dragon Knight was enabled very heavily by that Hoodwink and did really well on that lane. So maybe they're just looking to pair him up with maybe a Mirana or a Hoodwink or a Luna or some kind of hero that can capitalize.
Yeah, that was the game against LGD. And I think what happened was Innocence died like first blood and second blood in like the first minute or something. So maybe it was a bit more skewed, the game itself, because of like the two bad deaths that he had, and that gave a little bit of a boost to the Dragonite. But I would say generally speaking, DK is not going to have a very good time.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to pick heroes if there's a better hero playing against it on lane, but I can see what they're going for if they want to do some kind of kill potential, high tempo kind of lane with the DK and the Hoodwink or something like that. I really like Sand King in first phase because typically when you see a first phase Sand King, you don't expect him to be a core, but that's what most people kind of think about when they see the Sand King. So it adds a lot of flexibility to their draft.
It's interesting too, because I think LGD might be one of the few teams that are willing to play it as a support in the current patch, where I feel most of the other teams right now just kind of autopilot into the offlane role. There's also the mid sanking potential as well that we've been seeing a rise of in the past months.
And I think we've seen mid Sand King do very well against more popular mid laners like Puck. Actually, he pushes the lane really fast and can match Puck's roaming potential in TP and if he needs to. So that's
So
a really
good.
cool approach to the hero. The nice thing about having a first phase Sand King, even though he's not typically the best first phase hero, is outside of the flexibility, you kind of negate the threat of some melee safe laner. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't really want to be picking these melee safe laners into a Sand King.
Unless it's an anti-mage, then it's fun.
Unless it's an anti-mage. But yeah, it kind of just it eliminates that from the draft early on, or if it brings it in, it just adds in.
Yeah. And they still
more
banned the
ability.
Terrible 8, even though they do have the Sanking pick. But that's just to cover the Luna, I feel here. Because what they did yesterday when BG picked the Terrorblade, they picked Tinker, right?
Yeah,
but
they
then
baited it. They baited it, right?
they did, exactly. But this time they're banning it out because LGD, they don't like to do the same thing twice if they don't have to. So they're just gonna ban this TB out this time. They probably have other plans already for Nothing to Say in this game.
So it's safe to say we're not going to be seeing a Nothing to Say Tinker in this game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that indeed.
Which is also kind of sad because LGD have been giving us new heroes, and that's been a lot of fun after like the stale meta.
PSG.LGD.
Surely they're gonna pick something fun.
Lena,
So
there it is.
Yeah, so they do go for the Lina, which can also be a mid hero if it needs to be. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be pairing it up with the DK because otherwise, why would you pick that DK into the Luna in the first place? Like Steven said, it's just not a good matchup for him.
That's an incredibly good combo, Lena Dragon Knight. Honestly, right now for me, Lena's like one of the strongest position for us in the game. And not everybody is willing to play it, but the players who are and the teams that are, they dominate lanes hard. And the hero scales incredibly well. Fiery Soul is such a great ability. You got that level 10 talent where you get 30 damage as well. You can become a third core even from the position 4 role.
Agreed. She's very underrated as a 4. I thought we would be seeing a lot more of her at the last major, for example, but we didn't really. But I would say her biggest flaw, okay, so she's not a 4, but her biggest flaw as a support would definitely be how susceptible she is to dying.
So she's...
It's possible they run the Spirit mid, to be fair. They're still very flexible from Elephant, I would say.
Wait, you
That
think
is possible,
Somnus is
but-
going to do it?
That is
possible.
possible, but I think what happened was that they picked the Lina initially to play with the DK, but then LGD picked the Clock, and Lina would not have a good time playing versus Clock. Like later on in the game, she would just feed over and over, which isn't something that they want happening. So our Spirit can always be played as a core, and you know what? I would love to see it, but maybe it was kind of a reactionary pick to just having a more durable support.
Yeah, our Spirit normally comes right after Clock because you're not phased by Clock at all. You just kick him out of your
You kick him out
cogs.
of cogs when you just
Yeah, the
roll out,
cogs.
yeah.
Exactly. And Winter Wyvern can fly away. So both of the supports of Elephant are not going to be affected by the Clock. That being said, though,
The DK lane sucks now.
Exactly.
It sucks now.
That's
Their
what I'm
plan, their plan with that DK is just gone.
thinking.
Okay, so hear me out. What if they just put him mid
Okay.
and have an offlane Lina with their Spirit?
No.
That doesn't sound too bad.
It doesn't sound too bad, but then you have an offlane Lina now.
But offlane Lina is so underrated. Okay, that's just a possibility. That's just a possibility if they're willing to be.
Yeah, maybe it's
flexible, that's
underrated
something
for
that they can
good
do.
reason here, Mira.
Listen,
It's true, it is underrated, but-
in my pubs, it has been popping off. But
Oh, okay.
no, like you were saying about Elephant, they do like to play more traditional Dota, so we can expect the more generic lane lineup here. But the biggest issue Elephant has right now is their DK. If it is an offlaner, which it probably is going to be, he doesn't really have a lane to play here.
You know what? You're right. The more I think about it with this Lina,
Right, the
it
Lina
could be
offlane, right?
Yeah, it could work. It could work. But I think Earth Spirit might not be the best partner for it because Earth Spirit needs to roam.
It actually is. It actually is a really good partner. I've played it a lot of times with Linas. You roll into the Luna, boom, you kick her back to Lina, she's dead. She just
True.
dies. Wait, but
No,
who knows if they'll
nothing
play
to
it or
say,
not.
Magnus.
Radiant team ban.
I'm happy. I love seeing Nothing to Say playing Magnus. It's honestly my favorite player hero combo. It's such a treat.
And it's interesting because they don't have really another Empower target. Like Empower gives damage to Luna, and that's pretty much it. Won't really utilize the cleave, but the way that he's gonna play Mag is like a second
5
carry,
seconds
right,
remaining.
in their lineup. He's just gonna
For sure.
stack Ancients for himself, farm that up, just be this Blink BKB guy that Elephant is gonna have a hard time getting through to get to the Luna.
Absolutely, and I love the way he plays it with his Daedalus and his Satanic, and he just becomes the carry of his team. And he doesn't have to waste time chasing his carry around to empower it. He can just play his own Dota game comfortably.
Yeah, I think
So
I
that's
would
when
say though, Lina is actually one of the worst matchups for Magnus. I think there's a few heroes Mag doesn't like playing against, and that's like Viper, Lina, Puck.
10
These
seconds
super long range harassing heroes. And I can see a world where this Lina just gets an absolute free lane and is able to just roam around with the Earth Spirit.
Ban.
Yeah.
I can see that, but also there's something else to note, which is Winter Wyvern is a very good counter initiate against RP. And
True.
traditionally has always been that way. But the way Magnus is played as a core mid these days is it's not even that focused around RP.
Yeah, it's all about the skewer plays, and you're pretty much only
direct click
RPing if
damage.
you... Yeah, exactly. You're only RP if you get like a perfect RP, or you're just RPing one hero just to like pick them off and just get that map advantage, have the numbers game 4 versus 5, and then you just keep running at them. And Crystal Maiden for the last pick. So this kind of speeds up their lineup a little bit for LGD. I think that's going to be a position 4 Crystal Maiden by Shinkyu and a position 5 Clockwork.
Yeah, you
And they're
definitely
gonna have-
want to pair the clock with the Luna.
Yeah, I think so too.
10 seconds.
And if it is a Lena Earth Spirit lane, which I'm still hoping it is, the Crystal Maiden would just die way too much. So it's a 4 Crystal Maiden for sure. That's a really good call.
Alrighty, and the Spectre's going to come out from Elephant, so, you know, it's a big tanky core hero. Kind of surprised it wasn't banned, but just does the job. You know, it really does do the job.
Oh,
It's-
mid-tanking
Oh,
too.
can I
Mid
comment
tanking.
something really quick? I
know.
like the Spectre pick because the saddest thing to play against as a Magnus or a Sand King or any kind of Blink Dagger initiator is a Spectre Hunt. It really makes
Yes.
the fights difficult to navigate for these
Super
heroes.
annoying.
Good
So I
against
see why
Luna
they
too.
picked it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, you
very
can
good
just
pick
pop
here.
the Haunt to tank the Eclipse a lot of the time and just mess with her and close the gap on her as well. Yeah, it's a great pickup. Very surprised it got through the draft, but Elephant are able to grab themselves a last pick Spectre. So what do we think? I mean, this swap here between Nothing to Say and Faith Beyond, with Faith Beyond taking the Magnus and Nothing to Say taking the Sand King. But he is going to be laning against the Somnus Lena at mid, so I don't like this, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, I think Sand King does fine versus Lena. It's like
Oh, he
what
does?
Steven was saying. He was saying Magnus does not have such a great time against Lena, whereas Sand King can just push out
Yeah.
the wave, go to the jungle, push out
Yeah.
the wave much faster than Magnus can actually. And he can also respond to rotations in a more timely fashion than a Magnus. So I can see why they did it. As far as the drafts go, I think I can see it going both ways for both teams. It'll just depend on how the first 15 minutes are played out, if there's any kind of snowballing going on. But late game, I'll always favor a Spectre lane.
All right, Phoeben, which way are you leaning? Which one of these drafts butters your crumpet?
I like the change, putting the Sankey mid. I think it'll do much better than the Mag, and I want to see game 3. So I'm just gonna go with LGD here. I think Luna is still that solid carry, and Spectre. There has to be a few things that go right for that Spectre lineup to work. Where LGD, I feel like they have the potential to play fast in this game. They got the double blinks, they got the Luna aura, they got the Crystal Maiden aura, so they can constantly stay on the map. I like LGD here. Let's go for game 3.
Let's go, game 3.
Let's throw it across to our commentators for this game. Is BKop and MoFarah for LGD vs Elephant, game number 2.
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 2, Elephant with the 1-0 lead, trying to close it up. See if they can do so with this Spectre. Close up the series, get the 2-0 over LGD. It would be a big boost for the stock of Elephant in terms of where people's mindset are with them struggling through the DPC, I would say, and then eventually qualifying through a last chance.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Nomad as well that he gets to see his favourite hero player combination in Nothing to Say Magnus. So, yeah, lots to look forward to this game.
And the FY Earth Spirit's going to be good too. Well, we saw it in, I think, the previous Dota pit.
Yeah.
Burrow Strike.
Ooh.
And this is looking like a dead Super Winter Wyvern with the Frostbite, but Super gets up to the high ground just barely. Very close to getting that first kill. And it was that last Dota pit where I wasn't entirely sold on FY Earth Spirit at the time, and it was that game that sold me on it. Was where he had that like ultra kill over mid and went like 12, 5 and whatever.
I think this Lena hero should dominate this mid lane. I know if he was talking about how you can push out the lane and go and jungle and things, right? On that Sand King, which it can, but it needs levels first. And I think the first few levels for the Lena should be really strong. This Lina
Right.
is so oppressive to lane against.
Feels very difficult for Nothing to Say. Not exactly the matchup he was probably hoping to get, considering he just came off playing Sniper. Not really sure what you're going to get out of this lane, just kind of standing still for the moment. Somnus is ready as he's got himself that LSA to land the stun. It's level 2 into the Fiery Soul, but the second he grabs that level 3, and can Nothing to Say really stand his ground in this lane at all.
Like in the early levels, he can't. Right, it's really tough. He's having to bring out a salve as well before he even gets bottle, which is that feels awful.
Ooh.
I do agree with the panel though in the sense that I think this the Spectre pick last pick is pretty good overall too. I really personally like Elephant's Draft a lot. I think going late game, the Spectre does really well against the Luna. If he goes Blade Mail first this game, there's a lot of like hectic damage going around the fight. It's like uncontrollable damage is what people usually call it, right? There's like Eclipse, an Epicenter, there's like Freezing Field. There's all sorts of things to think about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Good job there by Nothing to Say. The second Somnus leaves that lane, puts a sentry down and cleans up the sentry there from the Radiant. Somnus, he does have another one. He's going to throw it on the high ground and do the same himself. The entire time, though, that Observer Ward stays on the high ground. The sentry that was placed down first by Somnus wasn't close enough to spot that Observer, and the second one is certainly far enough away where that OBS is probably going to go the full duration. Nothing to Say, needing to be careful.
Oh, top lane
Second
as
slave
well.
in a second, and Yang just surviving thanks to the help of FY.
Yeah, nice kick.
Offlane DK, so we've been seeing a lot of mid DK, but this is not a hero that is a stranger to playing in the offlane. Actually, we were seeing a lot of offlane DK, what, like a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, we still see a lot of offlane DK.
Yeah. But there was that time where like it was almost felt like it was exclusively offlane after it had been mid lane for so long.
Yeah.
Trying to remember if that was like a year and a half, a year ago. It was before DPC, I think, but it felt like that.
Clockwork's trying to go for the bounty rune top. Oh,
Oh boy.
oh my god!
Oh, he got it.
Not what you expected.
What a classic that is.
Tower is under attack.
That was like a Benny Hill theme music moment, that one, I think.
You're having a really good time over bottom, 21-1.
Yeah, which I think is really worrying for LGV. Like, if the Spectre gets off to a good start, then it can be terrifying. I'm a big fan of CM Pos 4 as well. I think this hero has not been picked enough considering how good it can be. Like, I think it needs to be in the right lineup. You can't just, like, pick it straight away. But it has a lot of, yeah, a lot of value.
Ooh, roll in from FY, kick back. Although Faith Beyond got first blood on Eurus, Nothing to Say will drop over mid. I felt like that was a long time coming for Eurus as well. He kept moving up pretty far forward in the lane, and just the constant frostbites coming out from Jinkyu was really difficult to withstand.
Yeah, big rotation from FY as well. This Lina's already doing really well against the Sand King, and now, you know, she's going to have that level 6 advantage over the Sand King. Feels incredibly strong. You can always threaten that kill.
Yeah, Sand King won't be able to really stand in lane like that, especially with the amount of LSAs and Dragon Slaves that you've been eating on this Sand King. While that goes on, you're just asking to die from a Laguna Blade. They go after Yang up in the top lane. Body blocks with the cogs around him. Dragon Tail comes out, but the Lucent Beam might be enough to keep him close enough to get that damage out and have another Lucent Beam in a second. He just doesn't have the mana for it. Short by 3. Jinkyu goes down to FY. Faith Beyond, he also falls. And Eurus gets a little bit of revenge in that bottom lane. So 2 kills there for Elephant. And up 3-1, still feeling pretty good, despite the fact that they aren't leading in net worth. And it's Sand King who's backed up to the jungle and gotten a little bit more farm. Luna's having a good time, and I guess, yeah, Magnus too.
FY's just completely exploded the game open though, right? Where all of a sudden you're in this really weird position where he's gone mid, found a kill, goes bot, finds a double kill. His Spectre's now almost caught up onto net worth with the mag, which is really bad sign for LGD. Where this one lane that was winning really hard.
Roll in, Arctic Burn, LSA. We shouldn't need the Laguna Blade, and the right click will be there for Somnus. They also get an Observer at the time, so even more gold going their way, and now Elephant finally take a little bit of a net worth advantage. God, Somnus level 7 already, and look at his net worth. Sentries down.
I'd love to know how many sentries have been bought for this mid lane so far. Feels like so many. This Clockwork's coming round from the back.
Yang again. Quick Dragon Tail.
I thought he was going to try and get the cogs off first, but not in time, unfortunately.
The thing that's going on right now is it's just Faith Beyond against Spectre over bottom. So Faith Beyond against Eurus 1v1. Spectre's kind of okay getting the experience, but so is Faith Beyond. He cleans up these waves pretty quickly. He's got himself that early ring of health, but he feels great.
Yeah, it feels really good. I would say Faith Beyond can just push out the lane and then farm the big camp at the same time. So he is going to be more efficient. Nice D-ward by Super.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Treads picked up for Yang. Ooh, TP bottom by Somnus. This is with movements towards Eurus. Jinkyu going up to the high ground. That might be a mistake. Spectral Dagger, and Jinkyu hit with the LSA. And eventually they will get this kill. It's another one there for Somnus, who is now on a killing spree. So he's got himself sitting at 3-0-0.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, this is so good for Elephant. The Luna, I would say, I mean, the Luna's having an okay time, right? Like, Mag's doing fine. It just feels like LGD's lanes feel like they should have gone a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
Just across the board. But, I mean, this is something we talked about yesterday, is having these carries that can flash farm, right? Especially that can farm Ancients and things as well. The Ancient stacks. And Luna, obviously one of those where Spectre's kind of, it takes a little bit longer to get that farm online. Once you do, you're going to be much stronger, but...
Splinter Blast, Ame. He's going to be in trouble. And the Cogs actually push Eurus away. He throws the right click and he doesn't decide to go on Ame. Instead, will go for Innocence, who's got the battery assault out there, going onto the high ground. That is miscommunication, and I don't know what was going on with the fact that they just kind of had Ame in a bad spot but didn't commit.
Yeah, that was really well played by Innocence, though. I mean, I think Elephant played it fine, they just couldn't quite get the Dragon Tail off because the cogs came through from the Clockwork.
Now instead, it looks like they're going to lose Yang.
Is he okay on Innocence? I think he's fine, but... he just lives. Yeah, he is going to go Blade Mail on the Spectre. I think that's really good. It's a great game for it.
Back down here towards bottom, and he's just about got that Blade Mail finished off. He doesn't have the Haunt to work with. That's usually something that's nice to have, where you've got that Blade Mail, get into the Haunt, hope to get something done really quickly. Dragon Tail comes out, they've got the Sentry down to the Dire. Arctic Burn, and no level 6 for the Winter Wyvern. He gets pulled right back in. Burrow strike out. Skewer. RP coming through. Sonic's gone too. And they're both dead. They also catch Yang. And all of a sudden, Elephant. I mean, that was brave from the Winter Wyvern, but a great skewer through all the way over to Somnus. 3 kills.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, really well played by Faith Beyond. I think Super showing his head a little bit early there. I think Wyvern's probably the one hero you don't want to get gone on first, right? And he's not level 6 yet either, so doesn't have the curse available. All of a sudden, the RP comes through, and the glaive's just bouncing between the two of them. 5-person Lunar Blessing Aura. They are not living. That was awesome by LGD. Spectre is still farming though, so like Elephant, they'll be disappointed, especially because they've lost their mid tier 1. But there's the blink on the Sand King as well.
Radiant are scanning.
Like Spectre's still farming. Would have liked to be involved if they had the haunt ready to go. But that is a big fight from LGD that really sustains them through this part of the game for probably the next few minutes or so. Because it was starting to lean heavily towards Elephant. If they made the right movements, it could have gotten even worse. Roll into a dust. They've got the silence with the Laguna Blade, and it's just that easy to get a pick off right there onto the Sand King. FY with Somnus.
Yeah, and that's the power of the BO3s as well. Like, I know she was around that area anyway, but even if not, you can look to set up kills in side lanes and things here. I think Eurus should be leaving this bot lane area now. I think he's been here for a long time, and yes, he's farmed well and everything, but you want to be starting to play towards those Ancients. Leave the non-safe area of the bot lane. Want to get away from here now, especially because I think LGD are probably going to want to start to play down here. Look to take the tier 1. And all your safe vision from Radiant is set up in this top area, like side of the map. And you want your Spectre to be safe as possible.
I'll take that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Man smoke from LGD. It looks like they're going to get super again. Burrow Strike comes out. They've got the Skewer back. Cold Embrace not going to matter. Super's still dead.
Oh.
Ooh, hook shot missing Yang.
Close.
Had the potential to be a +1.
He's level 8 on Clockwork. Jesus. How's that happened?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But Jinkyu is behind. It's a little bit similar situation for Elephant. They've got level 8 for FY and 7 just about for the Winter Wyvern.
I love that play by LGD as well. They invade the Ancients at the minute mark. They take the Ancients for themselves. They then block the camp and they leave. And the Luna's farming the Ancients on the other side at the same time, right? They're just being really efficient with how they play the map. Like how they get gold out of it as well.
Right. Looking over for nothing to say. They've got the silence, and there's the haunt. They'll get the kill. Super getting credit for that one. Gets them a little bit of information on where the rest of LGD are. So it feels quite nice to get another pick off on the Sand King. It's the Luna though that they need to be careful about. Mask of Madness, Dragonlance going into the BKB. Spectre after that Blade Mail going into the Yasha.
Yeah, you want to go for that Manta's second item, I think, pretty much every game. The value that you get from that item with the Desolate as well is so good at being able to, you know, actually deal damage in teamfights and things.
It's a cute little observer right there. Interesting spot.
Yeah, you're just going to go through the trees. Doesn't see where they are. Better play it safe.
TP mid from the Lina. They've got 3 over in that mid lane area. Super with a smoke ready to go if they want to go for that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Blink Dagger now for Yang.
Are scanning.
Just has to have that get delivered.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Has to get it delivered, but Jinkyu coming over and Faith Beyond maybe looking to get a kill here onto the DK. However, coming around the other side, Laguna Blade, and now Magnus. He's going to try and get a kill. They've got the Burrow Strike, the Winter's Curse. Can they get the kill on a Jinkyu? They'll at least get one, but they're going to lose Somnus for this. The LSA doesn't have nothing to say. They've got the hookshot that lands on a Yang. Dogs around him. Boulder Smash, Epicenter, all in. They'll get the kill on the DK. 2 for 1 in favor of LGD once again, and they're up 3,000 net worth, looking for more. Burrow Strike hits on the FY. Should be a +1, looking for the Skewer. Thinking about the RP, maybe not necessary, but the Geomagnetic Grip gets the silence, so throw down the Magnetize, and it's still another kill for LGD.
LGD is so good at these skirmishes. They always make sure they bring the numbers. You know, it feels like they're never behind. Like when there's these skirmishes kick off, never feels like they're behind in people, right? Like everybody turns up that needs to turn up. And this Luna's still just free farming away. Spectre's still playing this bot lane. And this Luna's really starting to pull ahead now. 2k net worth ahead of the Spectre. I mean, the timing that you need to aim for is this Manta Skadi right on the Spectre. But
RP onto the Spectre. Waymail is popped. They've got the Eclipse. They'll look for the damage. Eurus in trouble, and he'll end up dead. Good movements from Faith Beyond.
But if you look at the vision on the map from the Radiant side, though, like, it's terrifying for them. They don't see anything anymore.
Yeah, almost non-existent. When you take a look at the 3 obs from the Dire down bottom.
Yeah, they're in complete control of this bot jungle. So every time the Spectre goes down there, they know. And they can easily make these rotations down to try and find him. If you think about the parts of the map where Elephant feels safe to farm at the moment, and think about the parts of the map where Elephant feels safe to LGD feels safe to farm, and they're completely different. Like, it's not 50-50 anymore.
No, the map feels very tight for Elephant.
They do have Haunt up again here, though, so...
Blink, Dragon Tail coming through on a Jinq LSA with the Geomagnetic Grip. They've got the silence. They'll get the kill. Somnus getting the kill on a Jinq, and Ame, he's nearby, but they just won't be able to get the kill on him either, and they wanted to move and use that Haunt to potentially get a big target, but nowhere to be found. And, well, Eurus is by himself up towards top, and they've got the hook shot. He'll pop the Blade Mail. However, can they even get into this one? He's going to haunt, jaunt, and jump around, trying to get away safely, and he's doing a good job of finding some openings. Dragon Tail comes in with the LSA as well as the Laguna Blade. They've got the Winter's Curse. They'll get the damage to get the kill on a Faith Beyond. Now they look over an Innocence. They find themselves the second. Clockwork's gone, and that's a double kill for Somnus, so it does work out. The haunt, jaunt, and roll is exactly what he needed to survive.
That was really well played. I mean, the thing is, it's not even like he's spamming it, you know, just to be annoying as possible. Like, it's controlled, right, the whole time.
Ooh, they're converging again, looking for Somnus, and they know exactly where he is. Blink, Burrow Strike, and the rest of the team's
BKB.
not there. He'll pop the BKB. Try to leave the damage! Woo-hoo. Getting real close. Very, very close.
I'll take your tribute.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's a big fight, though, for Elephant. To not lose anything.
Yeah, it's the difference between Spectre being, like, 4k behind the Luna and, you know, like, 2.5k to 3k. Which is, you know, big at this point in the game, especially when Roche fights are going to be looking to come up soon. Yeah, and they're going to look to smoke, find a pick-off, and I think just head into the Roche pit afterwards. That's this tier 1 top they can look at taking as well.
Dire are scanning.
This Wyvern is...
Radiant's top tower
Very... Ooh.
in
Shot
very
didn't
trouble.
land, but very trouble.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Old Embrace, and eventually dead. Does that buyback?
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I think you just go into the
Dire's
pit.
bottom tower
It's like
is under
clockwork,
attack.
right? Not the hero. Oh, they're going to try and fight Ball.
Yeah, Senkin just TP'd into this. That's a mistake by Nothing to Say, and now dominating for Somnus. They won't move into the pit anymore, and that's a little bit of a misplay. I thought LGD would just go for Roche.
Yeah, like, the thing is, like, if you let that tower go, it's not a massive issue, right? If you're trading it for Roche,
Dire's
then
bottom tower
I think you
is
feel really
under
good about it.
At least you think that they would feel good about making that trade.
Yeah, but maybe they just feel like they wouldn't be able to do Roche quick enough at this point in the game. It's difficult to know.
Although the slow movements like that, or the slow progression through the game, is kind of giving this opportunity to Elephant to hold their way through it.
Yeah. 'Cause the thing is, you have to remember for Elephant going late game, it's not even just the Spectre. Like, this leader becomes a really good right-clicking hero. You know, you get this, he's got BKB bots, and then eventually she goes for, like, the Stadeless and stuff as well. becomes like a big damage threat. And then you have these 2 huge cores that you have to deal with. So I do think the pressure, even though LGD have this small net worth lead at the moment, they need to try and, you know, force the game a little bit more. You know, the pressure's on them. And they're looking to make a play here.
Oh, Wyvern again. Oh, Burrow Strike misses. I still don't think Super gets away, but now they've got the Haunt, Jaunt, and Roll going. Hook shot the wrong way. Super off that is still in danger. I don't know how. Oh, maybe he'd walk away, but instead, he's still dead.
He was in a tough position the whole time, unfortunately. But again, you've seen this a lot of times this game where the supports are in really good positions to tank ganks for their cores. Like Jinkyu did it in the bot jungle area on the Ancients before. You just put yourself between where the enemy team would want to come and between your carry. Same that time, Super's ends up being the one that tanks the gank. And I think they're heading into the pit on LGD. Well, they can't take it.
Invisibility.
It did get scanned. There was a hint of an idea there for Elephant that OGD were doing it.
But like this whole time that LGD have been moving around, this Luna's just freely farming, and she's taken over the Luna in net worth now.
Wow.
Somnus is becoming... Oh, she's going Lincolns. Okay, that's pretty good though against a Sand King, right? But I'm surprised. I would have thought she wanted a damage item. And then, you know, potentially go back for the Lincolns after if she really wants.
Especially right now, Chrysalis Scotty is going to be the build for Luna. So going to have to compete with that, which is no fun. Oops, here for LGD. On that high ground by the Radiant Triangle. I guess it's the look at it what Luna wants to do now. So the Lincoln's finished and it will be that Daedalus after. So
yeah, standard build. Standard build for now.
We'll see how quickly Somnus can get into this Daedalus.
This Luna's crazy farm.
Spectre has Haunt available in 4 seconds, so doesn't need to be exactly near the fight. But let's see. They're gonna go after the Spectre. There's the Haunt. And that was the skewer back with the BKB. They'll go after with Yang using the BKB and getting the kill on Ame. So they're taking out the Luna. The LSA is going to come through onto the Clockwork. They get the kill on the 2.
Oh, this is really bad for LGD. Jinkyu's trying to TP
Two-man gonna grip. There's the roll.
What a fight by Elephant. That Manta dodge on the Spectre puts the Magnus completely out of position, right? Sorry, not the Magnus, the Luna completely out of position because she wants to commit where she thinks the Spectre's going to be. And then the Spectre gets all the illusions on top of her. And she just takes so much desolate damage on top with the help of her team. Watch this dodge. Oh. And then the Luna is just suddenly in absolute no man's land.
No man's land, yeah.
And that's it. And the Great Curse stops the Magnus from coming to help. And the whole of LGD just take this is like crazy split up fight where all of a sudden it looks really good because they caught the Spectre. And yeah, now Elephant have Roche. This is going to be Spectre with Aegis, who is already difficult to kill. He's so close to this Skadi now, about 2,000 gold. And at that point, if you ever get on top of the Luna with the Skadi, it's 50% move speed slow because she's a range core. So this game's just become incredibly difficult for LGD.
That's going to be very tough.
This is what we were saying though earlier about them, you know, really they need to try and force the fights and things, which they have been. Elephant just haven't given them to them. They've, you know, dodged these fights really well. The Spectres have escaped these couple of ganks that have come their way. And yeah, full credit to Elephant.
Yeah, that was a perfect fight from them. And now you've got the Lina at the top, close to this Daedalus too. So you're gonna have Daedalus and Scotty come out around a similar timing. Not exactly right on top of each other, but could be similar. Arctic Burn, RP on a 2. Holds on by Faith Beyond. They've got the Eclipse to follow it up, but the Laguna Boy comes down on Innocence. They get the Cunning Yang as well as Super, but they end up losing the Clockwork. Yura's trying to get away with the Aegis. He's got the Blade Mail pop. Spectral Dagger runs out, the damage through, on to Nothing to Say. They'll get the kill to end up trading Somnus. So a 3 for 3 as FY takes out this Crystal Maiden out in the jungle. And the 3 heroes on the side of Elephant don't have buyback.
I'm surprised. I thought the Spectre was going to try and stay and fight with the Aegis, but he just decided to abandon, basically. And just let the leader die instead. I also love, yeah, the F1 and Jinky are basically having this like 1v1 fight on the side, away from everybody else. Oh, great
Good skewer by Faith Beyond.
I mean, Faith Beyond is playing really well this game. $500 gold off Ascardi, and that's where the game gets really difficult.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Jackpot.
It's gonna slow down the Lina Daedalus though.
Yeah, it is going to slow down the Lina Daedalus, but I think she's still a problem in fights, right? Even with just the Crystallis.
Oh, you could see it. You could see the damage output.
It was a great RP to start the fight with, though. You know, we have to say the Yang basically just dies straight away on the DK. I like that he's going for Halberd as well. I think it's a great game for it. You know, against these range cores like Luna, but also the status resistance against the RP, the Burrow Strike. So such a great item on that hero.
So quick pause here. Still a 5k lead for LGD, but this game feels very tight.
Really close. Which is exactly what we wanted to see between these two teams, right? You know, we've had these games where, you know, like Aster Ares and SAG and things, they're good teams, but it feels like these tier 1 teams in China are on a different level from them, right? So when they come up against each other, it's nice to see that the games are really close and competitive. Because when we watched LGD versus Vici yesterday, the game 2 and 3 didn't feel close.
It felt very one-sided. Somnus coming in. Ooh, Jinkyu as a BKB goes into the freezing field, but it begins to walk away, ends up dead. They've got the Haunt, Jaunt, and Move. Now over to the Clockwork, but he's continuing to go all over. They get both supports out of here.
Oh, they found the DK, though, just by himself. I mean, the Spectre can come over,
Yang.
but it's too late. They get the supports, though, on Elephant, so it's something. But without Haunt for the next little while, LGD might be able to try and make a play here.
Is under attack.
I know it's very early, but 4 minutes plus a little bit to decide the game. Has it gone second? Roche has won every game so far?
I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm personally really interested to see what the Spectre builds next as well.
Oh,
Super.
Burrow Strike, Super getting caught. The rest of the team's coming over. This may not be the worst thing for Super. FY's going to be able to roll away. No, he gets stunned in the middle of it. They've got the skewer. The Laguna Boy comes in and nothing. Say the Eclipse all the way out on a Eurus. And he still won't use the Sages yet. Finally, it goes down. Sonna's trying to fight a way out of these cogs and gets the kill on an Innocence. They'll take out nothing to say. They've lost Faith Beyond. And there goes Ame, Elephant, even the game in net worth. But that is a massive team fight going their way.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Aegis. I mean, the Luna realizes, like, as soon as you see the Skadi get on top, she tries to run away, and it just doesn't work.
Jinkyu? Hello?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
love there's that long pause where Elephant were trying to work it out and then they tip Xingqiu as well.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah.
has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
3, 2, and
And-
15 for
Radiant
Eurus.
structures are fortified.
I mean, they can kill the Spectre, right? You sure, like, they took the first life, but they lose so much for it, and then with the Aegis, that's just a set of racks. It might even be two. Oh, okay, that's not two sets. They have tier 2s up still, so
Dire's middle
they
barracks
can't get any more from it, unfortunately. For LGD. Elephant, sorry.
Spectre's been on it.
Is he going Axe on DK? I think he is. He's almost got it.
Yeah.
Oh, the hookshot missed as well on the Wyvern mid. I mean, the fact that fight goes so well for Elephant when the Wyvern just died straight away is pretty worrying for LGD.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack.
5k lead here for Elephant. Right now, I'm just kind of locked in on Eurus.
Dire's top tower is
I'm his
under
biggest
attack.
I'm his biggest fan right now. Paparazzi, as it would go.
Yeah, he's having a great
Is the
game.
song.
I do think the Spectres in China feel like so much stronger than every other region.
Right.
Oh, he went Butterfly next. Okay. It's pretty good.
Looking to finish off the Daedalus. You've got the Daedalus on Lina going into a Satanic.
Yeah, she needs the Satanic against the Spectre dispersion and everything, right?
Oh, well, that died immediately after getting picked up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, it'll be 3 minutes, 20 seconds until you've got the Satanic.
That's a shame.
And Refresher picked up by the Magnus. They're coming around the back. Blink, Dragon Tail, as well as the Haunt. They're going to try and make a move here. Let's see who they go for. They find themselves Ame. They've used the Eclipse with the BKB. They're going to get the Blade Mail off. They get the kill on Ame. It's going to be 2 and a third with Innocence going down with the BKB being powered by Faith Beyond. He's trying to run. The roll is off the mark. Geomagnetic Grip doesn't hit, but the Boulder Smash is there with the Dragon Tail. Somnus takes out Faith Beyond, and it's 4 dead on LGD. They call GG, and Elephant will take a 2-0 over LGD.
I'm pretty sure Eurus just solo killed Arme at the side of the fight while they were fighting the mag with the rest of the heroes.
And the Clockwork.
And the Clockwork at the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. I mean, what a game by Elephant, though. I mean, I think the two big moments of that game were when the Spectre dodged both the smoke ganks. The